Remember, if you did come on, to go to all messages, or if you're watching it on replay, go to uh, newest newest messages. Otherwise, it will filter half of them out. So wait, just give it a minute, see if anybody comes on. So I don't know if I've used up all my notifications for today. If I have to hope you catch it on replay. We'll see. I'll give it a minute. I'm not in the best signal area, so I'm going direct on YouTube today, so it's a bit different. It looks different. Wait, wait. Right now it's coming on. It's unusual. Go. Anybody on? I'll get over here because sometimes it's this little circle, so we'll see. But let me know if you're there, because at the moment it's saying there's nobody on, and sometimes it lies. Ready, steady, go. You there? Yeah? Oh, you are there. Okay. Hello, how you doing? All right. Good to see you. Don't know how the signal's going to be, but we'll try anyway. We'll try anyway. For those watching on replay, yeah, sorry for the slow start. Like I said, I'm in the... Hopefully when I get out of this, the signal will improve significantly. I'm Tom Fury, this is Zero News. I just wanted to just cover something quickly, because I don't have much time. Seems to be my phrase recently. Why would... Like, obviously there's always some internet drama. There's always something going on, and it seems to be a theme recently, and we all know that. Fair enough. And we know that sometimes that drama happens actually by choice because it makes people money, and other times it happens because people are passionate, you know. So and sometimes that is going to happen by accident. But if you've been paying attention to anything that Vin's been saying, like, if you look at how uninvolved Vin is in God and just about everybody, to be honest with you, he's played it smart, and he's kept himself to himself because he saw what I couldn't, and that is there's a lot of people out there waiting to use you and abuse you and dump you and hurt you and all these other kinds of things. So he did it a lot better than I did. So he's not involved with this group or this team or that team. Smart. But so why is Vin keep having his name attached to things at the moment? Wasn't before, when he was on 9,000 subscribers, but has recently. And they keep attaching his name to things that are, quite frankly, the low-hanging fruit type of things you would expect from internet trolls, which is they always call you a paedophile, wife beater, something like that. It's always the same set of insults, just dressed up better. And the answer is probably quite simple. A few answers. One, he's newer to have a channel of that size, so people try and take advantage of that. But more importantly, some people are stupid enough to think that a channel of 10,000 subscribers is big because maybe they're only on 12,000 or maybe they're on 8,000. So to them it's big. But so like me and Vin, for instance, we know you've got Everest to climb still, right? But there's not, other people don't look at it like that. Well, I'll tell you what, some people do look at it as a threat. They look at a channel like Vin's, which has not pledged its allegiance to any scumbag. That's a threat, because that channel's got bigger and bigger, and if it starts to grow like it's been, because it always happens in waves with channels. If it has another wave like that, it's going to surpass a lot of channels and have a bigger voice. That pisses people off. That's just the facts of the way it is. I'll also be honest with you as well. when I got to 10,000, everybody went from wishing the underdog well to wanting to bring me down. That's the other thing that happened. And I did tell this, but because they think you're making thousands when you're not, it's just crazy. But that's another whole story. But one of the biggest reasons of all this is because, think about it, most of you don't know, most of the people in my circle don't know who Green Arrow is, for instance. Many of you don't know who Abatha is, for instance. So, but there's one name that's got around that you all know, and that's Vindicator. Same as if I was to say Danny Roscoe to you, you'd all know, right? So, if you're trying to get attention, traffic means money. Yeah, traffic means money. Engagement. Traffic means engagement. Engagement means money. So if you're trying to get attention, then including the smaller YouTubers in any conspiracy or whatever accusations you've got won't really bring you that traffic, because they don't really have that kind of loyalty and core support and numbers that you get with a bigger channel and a really active channel like Vin's got. I mean, my channel's quite active, but you get my point. It's not to that scale. His is 10 times bigger. So what you do is you use Vin's name in amongst the others because it gives it clout. That's it. It's no mystery. It's just pure clout chasing. It's pure clout. It's using the wave he's got that they don't have to try and A, like I say, generate that drama and generate that traffic. But B, what a bonus if in the process they could neutralize someone who they probably realize just from watching the videos, we're never going to align politically, we're never going to be able to sit in the same room and get along, therefore you are opposition. And there's a lot of people think like that. There's a lot of people think that way. I had it when my channel hit 20,000. There's a reason it never hit 30. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that didn't want that. They were unhappy at 10. Yeah, they were very unhappy at 10 because somebody who wasn't under a narrative was doing what they wanted. People don't like that. It's a loose cannon. It's somebody saying anything they want. So I find it interesting anybody would want to use Vin's name, except A, if they see him as a threat, B, because he is a name that everybody recognises, therefore anything you say at the moment that's supposedly new, you need to include a new and upcoming YouTuber. If you go for someone too big like AY Audits, no one's going to believe you. So you got to go for something about the rights. It's so boring. It's so boring, but at the same time, Vin's got to have to deal with the consequences of that. So I can't do much except let you know the rules of the game. And let you know there are some people, hey, come on, who play it better than others. Some people have had PR training. Some people have got agents. Some people who do things a certain way to get a certain response. They understand what YouTube is. And YouTube has guidelines and everything else. But they don't give a shit about their guidelines. They give a shit about your engagement and you spending money and time on there. That's all they care about. The guidelines are pure liability control so that you don't sue them. That's all the guidelines are there for. So they can get you in trouble. They're not looking to get channels off there. They want the money. They've just got to please advertisers. When you understand this, you realise the whole thing is a dopamine hit designed to get us all trapped. So if you try and involve a name that's too big, well then you've got to make it a big conspiracy, which has already been done. So in fact, all the time, it's boring. So yeah, you included a channel like Vindicators, and I had it done to me. Um, once I got to a certain size, apparently, overnight I'd gone from the honest guy from the streets to a guy that was having scripted conversations with people and being paid by the thousand, paid by the fucking suitcase. Crazy, but this is the things that were going around as though it was truth. I fucking wish. Yeah, but honestly, I was reading things about myself that I was just like, this is James Bond shit. And I wish half of it was true, to be honest, because it sounded cool. But, I don't talk about it that much. And I'm not going to name names because it's over, it's done with. But there are a lot of people that literally, there was, I don't know because I always had nothing to do with it. But there was maybe 3-4 channels that existed to end mine. And you'll find that that's true of a lot of big channels or bigger channels, that they actually do attract a mini audience that is there purely to destroy them. Crazy, but it's like an anti-audience. It's a strange phenomenon that you only get on the internet, that I've seen anyway. And unfortunately, you just got to be really careful with how you deal with that situation, because they can grow. They don't normally, but so I saw a couple of comments on Ben's channel. It was like, why are you letting it bother you and stuff like that. And I get it, right? Because I'm giving a very similar message to other people, and I'm saying you should ignore a lot of shit. But at the same time, this is a guy punching down to him. Yeah? Remember that part. He's been punched down to again. And like I say, people always go for the lowest hanging fruit with the things that they accuse you of. And that's what's been done. So when a man of principle and when a man that fights for things, people know what buttons to press, don't they? But you guys don't need me to say it, but I'll say it anyway. You guys know what Vin's about. Just give him the support that you always have and the encouragement that you always have, and he'll be all right. That's what I was going to say. I saw in the comments a couple of you saying, "Oh, fuck's sake, Ben, get over it." You're not the ones in the firing line. Sometimes your fear is that this lie goes viral, and then people actually start thinking this shit's real. It's terrifying when you're fighting for nothing but the opposite. So remember that. That's he's got that on him. And what would you do if you went to a demo and you thought someone 100% was doing something to kids? So there's reality has been brought into play, unfortunately, and when it starts to affect real life, then something has to be said. And so whilst like I say, my instinct always with these people is to ignore them, and that will always be my advice. Don't be hard on him. I saw it, a couple of people in the chat. Oh, why are you letting it bother you? Of course he's letting it bother him. Like, that's his reputation. That's everything. On the whim of somebody else that doesn't know anything about him. Think about that for a minute, and then think that you've built a channel up. I'm one of the few witnesses that can tell you his channel has been taken down. I saw 7 times. It's around 20 odd. Yeah. He's fought so long and hard to get here. Right? He's not without faults. Nor am I. And you embraced me. You embraced me because you knew that my heart was in the right place and we were fighting for the same thing. Same with Vin. Yeah. And, he's navigating new waters here. Don't get me wrong, he's a tough man. He's not afraid of anything. I don't mean that. I mean, he's navigating new waters with all this shit. Because he should be he should be on a team, right? As what I mean by on the team is we should all be fighting for the same thing. And it comes as a bit of a shock when you come on here and you find out that you're not. And like I say, he's a big boy, he can handle it better than I ever did. But just cut him a little slack as well, you know, because it's hard when you know that you're on, when you know that, you know you've put yourself out there for criticism, okay? You know you've put yourself out there for scrutiny. You know that the shit you get is the shit that you get, and you put yourself in that position. But there's certain things when they get said to you, just as a man or a woman, that, yeah, it's like, wow, hang on a minute, you really went there, you know? And I've built a stage, and I've put myself on top of this stage, and now you're going to attempt to make me look like that. And until that person has mastered that stage, they feel like a raw nerve up there. Vulnerable, raw nerve. With no protection. So, you know, I totally understand it. And the other thing as well is, like I say, with the area that we're in at the moment and the dangers there are with saying things about people and then, you know, going to a demo, getting you know what, like, those dangers are real now. We can't, they're not made up, they're very real world now. So, you know, this is why I kept trying to warn you about post-truth. When we stop caring about evidence and facts, we put ourselves in a very dangerous position. And what it eventually means is everybody turns on everybody else. That's the end result. We become Lord of the Flies savages. That's where this ends. That's the managed decline of Britain. It's very interesting to me, and I don't know the answers. Who's truly involved in it and who's not. I'm questioning every side because, yeah, look at it. What a mess. But what I do know is I've come up with people like Vin, I've come up with people like Danny Roscoe, and all of us are from ground roots level. Like, we weren't something else. Do you know what I mean? Not a lot of mystery, I suppose. But that's, you know, but it makes things simplistic. So, I don't know. That really does bother people. But also, like I say, other people see it as a gold mine. And I don't know if you understand that. Seeing somebody with a lot of subscribers and a lot of traffic, and that's the big part. Ben's got a lot of traffic. When you got well above his weight even now. When you're pulling in the traffic and the influence that he is money to be made. Look, whether you agree with Tommy or not, you have to look at how much the left have made off of writing articles about him, whether they're true or not. They just print money with his name. And what you do is you downscale that idea to YouTube, and you start to realise how anybody with any remote success can be used to make money. Just by getting the algorithms, and it's more about contextual push. Once enough people talk about something, the algorithms will give way like a dam, and suddenly you'll all be sent to a certain video. Contextual push, yeah? Think of it like that. It's the best way I can explain how YouTube's algorithms work in order to give way to a video, to a title, to let it out. To really let it out, I mean, you know? And, yeah, so, I don't know, I just, you know, I saw a couple of comments and I thought people were being a bit hard. Not everybody, but just a couple of people. I thought they were being a bit hard on Vin, and you've got to understand the position he's in. It's like, you know, yeah, if Vin asked me for any advice, what would I say? Probably not much, but just, you know, ignore the fucker for most part, because you've addressed it. But I think that's what he's already said anyway in his video. I think he said, this is me done. So no, I don't suppose I would have any, you know? Just only that. So, you know, any advice, I haven't got advice for Vin because he's been doing this longer than I have. But it's like, as a friend, it's, you know, I don't like seeing people go through this, because Vin's kind of he's like me. He's got a singular goal. He wants to be good at this. He wants to do good for you, and he wants to make great things happen. And he really does want to fight to make things better again. And I just want him to be free to do that. Because I do think he's one of the people. I think he's one of the people that can make a real difference in the future. I've told him that since the beginning. Vin, if you see this, I've told you that since the beginning, mate. I truly believe that if things don't go our way, you'd be one of the people we'd need. And I truly believe that. I believe a lot of people that maybe don't have time from now will be hiding behind his fucking legs if things don't go our way. Truly. I mean that. There's no exaggeration. Especially the people on the left. Okay, go. So, I can tell you, even from having him in Southampton and that, and just in general, you know, I can't think of a better person to have at your back, you know. And that's a big thing coming from me, because I've been in so many positions in my life where you turn around and find nobody there, you know. So he's one of those people that ain't going nowhere, you know. So yeah, you know, it's kind of hard to watch. It's kind of hard to watch without saying anything. So I just want to offer my opinion, which is all at the end of the day, but it's opinion based on my own research with YouTube, my interactions with the AI, fuck me, and years of everything, but of technology. And I'm telling you that you don't need to be technically savvy to understand how this system works and how to squeeze it like a fucking orange. And you don't squeeze it, you don't get the most out of squeezing 3 grapes. You grab the grapefruit and the grapes if you can, yeah? And that's what they're doing. And that's what the people will continue to do. And, you know, people like Vin will end up getting up to 30,000, and you'll find there'll be different types of gatekeepers and that there, you know? But just plough on, troops. There's always going to be someone trying to plough people over, but just Vin's got a back catalogue of videos that proves who he is. Me too, if I turn my other channel back on, and so are certain other people in this movement. You know, we've got a whole back catalogue that proves who we are. So yeah. And that's what I'm going to say. And by the way, that doesn't mean perfect people, but it certainly doesn't mean anything else either. It means human, normal. So, yeah. And that's about it. I'm not going to get into it because, again, it's what people want. It's some kind of drama. And no, I'm not playing the game. All I say is don't get caught in the hype. Remember who Vin is. And let's get on with the show. I am Tom Fury. I'm sorry, I haven't read your comments. Let me just have a quick look. Sorry. Remember, I'm only going to get a few through. Hey everybody, hey Spawn. Hey Aussie King, hey Erud. Good to see you. Hey Lead, great to see you, mate. Hey Fox. Bleeding Blitzy, great to see you. Oh, sorry, I'm out of breath there. Makeshifts, great to see you. Oh, that's right. Well, we're in a post-truth era, so people will believe anything. But this is unfortunately why people become. This is the problem we've got. People either become fanatically protective over you to the point of blindness, or they hate you to the point of blindness. And it's just this is the world we're living in now. People are taking advantage of this. I told you ages ago. And I'm not saying I told you so. I mean, I mentioned this ages ago, and that is that people are monetizing misery. I meant that in every dimension and in every lateral sense that you can imagine. I didn't just mean it as a think of every way that can be applied. People are monetizing misery because it's what sells. Look at every influencer that you might think in America that you might think is a dickhead. Look at most of them when they're in an interview and they're pinned. I've seen a few now, not just one. At first it was just one, but I've seen 3 now, when they're pinned down truly as to why they know right from wrong, and yet they teach wrong from right. Why? And they say, because when we do that, nobody's interested. You know, the drama, the rebellion, it all sells. Always has. Always has. And YouTube, you know, they're as big as Netflix now. People are on this thing all day. They're manipulating all of us. At the end of the day, Vin was right what he said in his YouTube are the ultimate winners in all of this. They are. Because even this video now, they're getting a lot more money than any of us ever will, just to, you know, have me sort of have my 2 pence on a drama, you know, what they would consider drama. Engagement is the word. Engagement, you know. And yeah, and also just one other thing. What a if you don't think about the size of Vin's channel and the amount of traffic he's got, all of those things, if you take away the engagement engine, the way YouTube works, money, all these things, then suddenly attacking Vindicator would be an absolutely random, almost nuts thing to do for no absolute reason at all. It would seem like the ravings of a madman. But add all of the engagement engine in, and the you know, the way that the algorithms work, the way they push towards drama, the way they encourage you to make videos about drama, by the way, in the creator studio. Crazy. Any creator can tell you that. They actually encourage it because they know the engagement metrics are high. And yeah, it's horrible. But what it does is there are some people that realize they're never going to have the talent to do a certain thing. But what they do know they got the talent to do is... So you've got 2 choices when someone's doing better than you. You can either try and feed off that energy and think, what could I do to make that happen for me? And positive things can happen. Or you drain off that energy like a vampire and try and take as much of it for yourself. And people have different strategies. I'm sure you can work out which is which. What I can tell you is, if Vin was what's the word? Vindictive, or if he was willing to ruin people and stuff like that, then the first thing he wouldn't have done is help me. Because everybody knows in their own little way that whilst I'm never going to be top dog and never would want to be, I'm a danger to everybody. If my channel really started going again, I'm a danger to everybody. Come on, even Vin in terms of numbers, it doesn't care. Come on, he doesn't care. Why doesn't he care? Because he's quite a selfless human being who would be happy for my success if that happened. I don't know about you, but this is the sort of thing you quantify real decent people by. The fact they'd be happy for your success, not despondent about their own perhaps slightly lesser success if that happened to be the case. And vice versa. They know you'd be happy for them if it's the other way around. That's my point. For me, these are the measures of a man. Not the shit that gets said about them online. So, my opinion, for whatever it's worth to you, and what little knowledge I have of things around me, I offer to you, I submit to you. Always, it's up to you to make up your own minds. But just remember, when people suddenly come up with crazy things, always look at the source. And always think of the engagement engine. Because whether you think of it or not, it's always there processing you every single minute that we're on here. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you all for coming on. I'm sorry I'm not answering the comments directly today. I'm just in that thinky world. But I want to say thank you very much. Yeah, I think they did well yesterday. I didn't get to see much, obviously, with stuff going on, but I tried to keep an eye on a little bit. But yeah, good on them. You know, maybe I'm being a bit too kumbaya, but I've got no problem with people, really. I don't know. Look, I've had fallouts with people, but what's the point in continuing? Like, I've said what I've got to say. If don't get me wrong, I'm not saying if I get annoyed again, I won't say something, but generally speaking, what's the point in me? It's not about kumbaya, it's about what's the point of me personally keeping stuff on. I've got a channel to grow, and it's not growing at the moment because guess what? I haven't been doing anything on it. So, I need to keep going and doing my job. I say my job, you know what I mean? I feel like it's job to you, and I've got to, and can be concerned with that. And believe me, like I say, people have already tried to mess with me. And if I'm lucky enough for my channel to get to 5, they will again. If I'm lucky enough to get where Ben's at now, they will again. And it's hard to know what to say, really. I wish we were in a better world, but we're not. And they will. This is what we don't tell you, and I can't tell you specifics. But I'm only going to talk about myself here, not Ben. They will pull every single dirty tactic you can imagine to fuck with your life, to take food out your kids' mouths, everything. Even at 10,000 subscribers. Think about that. At 10,000 subscribers, you're not even close to a rich man. I doubt if you're covering the bills. I doubt you're even half covering them. Right? So just think about that. At 10,000, people are more than willing to set out to make it their life's work, to make sure that you the dust. There's fucking something wrong with people. Seriously wrong with them. Like I say, some for money, some because they shouldn't be on the internet. I believe in freedom of speech, but I think there are some people that probably should be locked away from the internet. I think there's some people that just aren't equipped for it. Truly. I believe there's some people that just aren't equipped for it. We all go through a growing stage on the internet and we still can regress. But I think we can all agree that you generally calm down over time. But some people just don't. Anyway, I love you all. I'm sorry I haven't been as interactive as normal. I'm not normally that rude. My screen's going dark, so I can tell I'm going to run out of battery. But also, I really should be going places. But I just wanted to do a live while I had a chance. I was walking over here. Let me have a look at the battery. Yeah, okay, we are running out, but it's okay. So, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Appreciate you modding. I appreciate you watching. And again, I'm only submitting my truth, as people love to say. And you make of it what you will, because as I try and say, it's up to people to critically think. But yeah, motives. Take care. I'm Tom Fury. This is Zero News. I'm calling it a day for now.